I was wanting to use, so we're going to use, did I show you guys this guy? This guy's pretty badass. Look at this. It just bolts right into, this is a transmission. I know it's kind of hard to see, but this just bolts right into the speedometer cable. And it's got a little clip that is basically a fuel injector prong, basically. And it just clips on there, 3 leads, positive, ground, and signal. And we got a Hall effect sensor to work as a drive shaft speed sensor. So we have one element of traction control. I thought I'd be able to use the wheel speed sensors on the C5 setup, but there's only 2 leads. I have no idea what they did. I did a lot of searching, a lot of reading. I think that one's a 12 volt in and the other one is some sort of signal, but I think that a lot of, there's more that goes into it than what I'm capable of understanding. Something to do with resistors and stuff, and I'm not an electronics guy. So we just ordered a couple Hall effect sensors, just the regular old 2B boys. And what I plan to do is just mount them. That's why I got the light up here. Mount those guys. Basically, I think off of this bolt here, kind of make a bracket for it to come down and around. And then we'll have it catch the back of these wheel studs as it goes. I think that I'll actually do it on that side, because that'll be the first wheel to pick up, I do believe. And there's less shit over there. Basically, that's the real reason. There's just less crap over there. I'm worried about the wires and heat and stuff like that. So I'll put on that side, and I just ordered that. So that's a project for tomorrow. Just letting you guys know what I'm thinking about. Trying to go through all this, the final fine details. But I think we're on to 3D printing and air conditioning stuff, because I know I have 3D printer filament, and I can do that right now. All right, I usually don't make it inside the house, but we, woo monkey, woo. I've taught her to play fetch. Now she just walks around with this ball in her mouth all day, growling at me. You want to play fetch? All right, so we needed 2 plugs. This one just goes in the center vent and just caps the end off, because from the center vent we used to have a tube that went over to the passenger side vent. But now we have a hose that goes over the passenger side vent. So I made this guy, to fit in the passenger side vent. It slips in the hole that is meant for it, and then the hose will slip on that. And we'll have a plug for that, or a way to get the air conditioning to the passenger side, and a plug for that. So, woo, woo. Ooh, she's so cute. She's so cute. She's so cute. And then we got our 3D printer. You know, every time I have to use this thing, which is like once every probably 3-6 months, I always have to battle with it, because it just, I think it has to have the like the ring rust knocked off. But anyway, we're printing those guys up right there with some black PLA, and in about 14 hours it'll be done. So gonna go on to other little knickknacks and stuff that I can find that needs to be done around the car. We did order a Hall effect sensor, but we needed to show up so we can make the bracket. Hi boys and girls. Today is brought to you by the letter C, as in cardboard. And you know, when we got cardboard, it's CAD time, right? As long promised, I said I was going to make this dash probably about 3 years ago. I think the second time I finished the car. But I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been a total waste. It wasn't just an act of procrastination. It would have been a total waste, and we kind of got lucky. So what we got going on, y'all, is look at this. I actually vacuumed out the car and clean. You guys haven't seen it looking this clean in a hot minute. I know. Probably not. Well, it pretty much looked like that, you know. There was, you got this together, and then there was a pile of wires on the floor. So that brings us to this guy. So we're gonna get this guy finished up. which is the last thing that I believe Jacob is waiting on for him to come in here and put the wires on everything, and that's good. You guys see our little AC vent stuck in there? It's all nice. We got these guys in there all 3D printed up. Sorry, I digress. So here is what I want to end up with. Basically, what we got is our cup holders, and I'm thinking about just making a little shelf that'll kind of go over this, and we'll make a little plate for the cup holders. This will drop down in there and it'll hold itself in there, and that way you can pull them out and clean them, wash them, all that good stuff, put them back in. And it'll also give us access to a way to bolt the top piece to the bottom piece. So we'll figure out something there and something over here, and put a bezel around the shifter with a nice little leather boot deal, which kind of makes me sad. You guys might not know, but my mother passed last month, and she was a seamstress, and she did all my sewing for me, to include these fancy pants. Since I'm so short, I can never find pants that fit me, and I just took it for granted that she was going to stitch my boot for me. And now we have to find somebody else that does that kind of stuff. So that'll be one thing to do. And basically what I'm thinking is, if we can just come out this level, it's about 3 inches. This whole thing's about 18 inches. Come out here, I want to curve up, come off this a little bit, curve up sharply, and then go back down. And my thoughts are, I want to have like a little face plate here. I have a dial selector I want to put over here in the middle actually, and then a USB port for plugging USB stuff into. And then I thought, well, since they gave us these little LEDs on the back of this thing that means things, why not have it visible? And I thought maybe we'll make a little shelf on the top that we can clip and screw this guy into, and that'll also help the wires, because if we go straight back, just mount it flat, then it's going to butt into the air conditioner. That is the general profile of what we're going to build here. You can kind of get your mind around that. So we're basically going to do, I think we'll do 2 of these sides, and then I'll make a plate that will lay, there's actually 2 of those sides there. The other one is collapsed over. Obviously it's not going to hold itself up, but I'm envisioning one plate to lay across the top, and we'll just bend it, and then weld the whole thing, and then we'll have basically a 3-piece design. And we'll figure out some kind of little rig to hold the computer to the top, is what's going through my mind right now. That's what's going through my mind right now, and that's where we are. After much cardboard aided design, we are here. These are the pieces cut out. Obviously these guys are going to be the sides. This guy is going to doot there. We got a little cutout for our USB connector, and a little hole for our dial boost, which I didn't want. I know it makes you think like, hey, centered it, but I sat in the car, and the way the shifter is, it's easier if it's there, and I don't really care. I guess I could have put 2 just for those people with what's that called, OCD. I obviously don't suffer from that. And then we got room for future And now we got room for future improvements over there if we want to. Here's what we gotta do is we gotta clean all this up, bend this top plate, tack it together and weld it. Everything was going well. I hope I showed you guys it all laid out, like the pieces. And I just had to bend it. The cardinal sin is overbending, especially when you have like, so if you look at how I've designed this, you'll see the cup holders and the shifters. There's not a lot of meat right there. You can bend in between like 3 inches of aluminum either side. When you start cutting stuff out around it and making the one side of the bend surface really narrow, it doesn't like that. It doesn't, at least on my brake, it doesn't. The box brake, it gets flimsy there. And then once you overbend it, then you got to go hammer it back, and then things, instead of being nice, generally flat planes, start getting wavy and stuff. But I'm not mad. We worked through it. Let me flip this. where we're at. All right. So this is laying out pretty much how I was hoping it would. We got the cup holders in here, the shifter over there. It's all tacked up. We'll have room for our USB port and our little dial pot switch, and we'll be able to see all the LCDs on the Terminator. It can go in and out relatively easy. We'll make a little clamping thing. We'll make like a shelf for it to sit on that you'll be able to remove like a bolt or 2 bolts, and then it'll just kind of pop out. We'll make like a little clampy boy in the back, kind of like we do with the radiator, and that way it'll just slide in and slide out after you take off like maybe a wing nut or something. Make it life a little easier. Put a little boot around the shifter boy there, and yeah, we just got to run some beads, pull it all out. Well, I have to figure out a way to, that's why I cut these holes in the bottoms. I'm going to make a little tab that goes over so we can just screw that tab from the inside down on top of the base that's screwed to the little bracket we made a long time ago. And then all this plastic wrap stuff will come off. This will come out, and I'll try to paint it something similar to this beautiful dash collar. It actually looks like what they call coyote in the I have to bring out I have a 308 upper that I bought for like super cheap. I don't have any other parts to a 308, just the upper, but it was super cheap. It is about this. It was Flat Dark Earth from, I think, Arrow. So we'll check that out. I gotta weld this guy up, but not bad. I'm not terribly disappointed right now. Of course, after welding, it could be horrible. So you never know. You never know. Might get shaky. Might get nervous. I don't know. But we'll get that guy whipped up, and then I think all the preparation for my stuff will be done. Nice, nice. We got the piece, the center section out. We got the protective aluminum vinyl pulled off of here, and we rubbed it all down with our little 3M scratchy pad so we can get this paint to stick. I'm not super happy with this paint. It is taking forever to dry. Yeah, hopefully it'll dry up and get nice and all that. But yeah, you can see we just put these little tabs in this guy, put some nut certs on the back of it. We stood these guys off about 1/8 of an inch, I would say, just to make sure it's not rattling around. It's nice and sturdy, so we don't want metal chattering. We want it sucked down into it nice and firmly, which is what we got. And now I just need to scrub this guy down with our little scrubby boy to make a nice surface for the paint to stick to. Clean everything up with some alcohol or some acetone and get it painted.